So, as a young kid, I grew up initially living with my mom and my stepdad here in Roanoke Rapids, and I grew up in. We started in a Methodist church. I was even an acolyte, carrying the candles down the aisle. I didn't feel connected there. It all felt very robotic and very systematic. Probably around middle school, somewhere between my 5th and 6th grade year of school, I moved in with my dad, and we lived just me and him for a few years, and we started going to a Southern Baptist church. When most people ask me, I tell them that I grew up Southern Baptist. Of course, in the Methodist church, I was dedicated as a baby there. In the Baptist church as a teenager, I was baptized. Looking back, I really don't feel like that was a real baptism for me. I mean, I don't think that it was really in my heart at the time. I believed I was a Christian, but I didn't feel anything different in my heart. Graduated high school, I went into the Marine Corps. Of course, everybody finds Jesus in boot camp. My time in the Marine Corps, I really fell away from my church family back home. Like a lot of young people that moved away from home, didn't live the Christian lifestyle that I was taught growing up. My wife and I, Mandy, we started going to her home church after we got married, and raised our kids up in that church. And we eventually just stopped going to church. I can't really put my finger on why, but we did. And we were not in church for probably 2 or 3 years, maybe longer. We talked about, we really need to go back. We never stopped believing, we just didn't go on Sundays. But on Mother's Day one morning, I woke up, told my wife Happy Mother's Day. She said, thanks, get dressed, we're going to church. I said, oh, okay, where are we going? She said, well, we're going to go to Valley. I've been promising Pastor Bruce there that we were going to visit for some time, and I feel like today's the day. I said, well, let's go. So we got dressed and we showed up, and I can count probably on one hand the number of services that I feel like I've missed since then. I felt connected. There was just something about this place. It really felt like home. Even the first time that I visited here at Valley, I never once felt like a visitor. And I think that really made a difference for me. Of course, growing up in a Southern Baptist church, I was that first-time visitor standing there in the aisle when the worship music was going on, and I was very much not in my element. I can remember looking around going, this is uncomfortable. But then Pastor David delivered the sermon, and during that time, he was going through all the characters of the Bible. And I love history, and I felt like I was being taught something instead of just preached to. And I just felt very connected with the message, and that initially is what kept me coming back, was the message. I wanted to see who are we going to talk about next week, and who are we going to talk about the next week. And as time went by, I got more comfortable with the worship part of the service. I really started to understand what it meant. It started really changing me internally. And I started opening up, and I started listening to the words, and it really became an emotional experience for me. I started listening to it at home and outside of church. And now the worship service has gone from being my most uncomfortable part to now it's my favorite part of the service. But yeah, and then I started becoming more active here at Valley. I wanted to be active. I wanted to really give back for what Valley's given me. I really feel like the family here, my church family, and this church has saved my spiritual life. I mean, to be dramatic about it. Now I feel the change in my heart, not just outwardly. It's internally as well. I love serving. If I could serve every Sunday and be a part of multiple serve teams, I would. I look forward to being here in this booth every Sunday, and I thoroughly enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things of the entire week. I think both have a purpose. I think the biggest difference is, when I was younger, I didn't understand the purpose. I understood that I was serving my country. I really think that the difference, though, now, and I've spent my entire adult life in service of some kind, military, 15 years in law enforcement. Now I'm a high school teacher. I serve my community in various ways. For me, this is different. I feel like I'm serving something bigger than myself for a larger purpose. I'm serving not to get something in return. I'm serving because I feel like God wants me to do this. I've learned a lot about what it means to be a Christian, and more importantly, the leader in my household, the spiritual leader. I've learned a lot through the messages here, through being a part of my small group that I've joined. I've really learned what it means to be the spiritual leader of my house. Being a veteran, dealing with PTSD over the last several years, it really has helped me deal with that a lot better. My relationship with my coworkers at work has changed. I look at people differently, I feel like. But more importantly, I feel like I look at myself differently. My advice for those that may have been away from church for a while is to find somewhere that feels like home. Every time I leave the doors of Valley, I almost feel sad, but I look forward to the next time that I'm going to be here, because I feel like I'm going out into the world and I'm witnessing, and I'm pouring into others. And every time I come back to Valley, I come through the doors and I'm like, okay, I'm home. What do you have for me next? And when you can find a place like that, then I think that you too can find purpose and find a family. That's exactly what we have here at Valley, is a family. If you're not ready to come back to a church, find a group of people, of like-minded people that are faithful Christians that can guide you in the right direction. But more importantly, just get in the Bible, just get in the Word, start reading, and He'll call you back home.